Howdy, I'm Crystal. Today I have a fun boot card made with a new die set from Concord and Ninth called Bootcut dies. I am normally all about using what you have, but I did indulge in some retail therapy recently, so I bought this brand new set. There is a shopping link and the measurements for the dies in the description if that's something that interests you. The set does come with a lot of great pieces. There's a larger boot that comes with a contrast color for the sole and heel, and a contrast panel for the upper part of the boot, an embossing for boot tooling, as well as a desert scene, as well as some separate pieces you can use on either boot, some foliage to stick out the top with flowers, stars, a horseshoe, a couple of cacti, and the greeting of Howdy. There is a matching stamp set, which I did not purchase. So I cut out all of my die pieces, made my card bases, put my little handmade stamp on the back, and cut out a couple of background panels in various shades of blue. And then I was ready to move the die pieces around and see how I wanted to assemble the card. So I did cut out the sentiment that came with the stamp. I like that greeting. The die pieces were easy to cut out. Nothing was too fussy, but the die pieces are very realistic. I don't know that it shows up particularly well right at this point in the video, but the boot has some toe creases embossed in it, very realistic looking, and it's got some stitch lines between the lower part of the boot and the upper part of the boot, which add a lot of realism to the die without being difficult to cut out or fussy in any way. So I like that desert scene so much, I went ahead and die cut that using 3 different shades of orange for the desert scene. And I think that is going to make a really cute card. So once I looked at the layout, I started to assemble the die pieces. And I started out making a gluing mistake. So the very first thing I did was put glue on the larger of the die pieces. And of course you should never do that. You do tend to get glue oozing out from your die pieces if you put the glue on the larger piece, and you tend to have less oozing if you apply the glue to the smaller piece of paper. You definitely want to assemble your die cut before you attach it to the card or wherever you're going to put it, because of course that gives you a chance to use your fingers to line the pieces up exactly right, and it is much easier to do that if you can pick the whole assembly up than if you've already put the base in place. I do like liquid glue for this purpose as well, both because you can use a fine tip applicator as well as the chance to manipulate the die pieces just a little bit. So once I've got that desert scene in place, I can go ahead and attach my little sun as well as the cactus. I had given some thought to doing this as inlaid die cutting, but the sun piece comes as a multiple, and so that piece in particular I would not be able to inlay. Once I've got that all assembled, I can put the boot top on, and again just make sure that it's absolutely lined up with the base, and then the boot is all assembled. I put the paperweight on it for just a second just to make sure that the glue has got a good grip, but it doesn't really need to dry that way. I tried the word at top and bottom, but if you put the word at the top, the tail of that Y has a little bit more space to dangle, so I think that's what I'm going to go with. And of course I had to cut the desert scene out 3 times to get the 3 shades of orange, so I am going to go ahead and make 3 separate cards. I do like sending hello cards. My mother does as well. We're in Texas, and so I thought this Howdy greeting was just perfect for that purpose. So this little cute desert scene boot came together really quickly, and I think those cards are awfully cute. Now I did go on to make a variant. In this case, I did not use the desert scene. I went ahead and cut that boot top in a contrasting color, and I used the embossing piece to emboss a pattern into the boot top. A lot of times you'll see cowboy boots that have stitching on them, a stitched decoration or a tooling decoration, and so that is what the embossing piece mimics, and I think it does a very good job. It was very easy to use, that embossing piece, and I think it was a great addition to the die set. Once I've got everything in place, I am going to put that extra little brown piece at the top to mimic the way that actual cowboy boots look. So I thought that this die set was a lot of fun. It was an episode of retail therapy that I did enjoy, although like I said, normally I encourage you to use the supplies that you have, and I feel like I have the lifetime of supplies. But sometimes retail therapy is just hits the spot, and it has been a lot lately. My mother is doing better, however. She is out of the sling for her broken arm, so she is moving on to physical therapy. So she was a little disappointed not to feel absolutely normal the second the sling came off, but I'm sure that 12 weeks of physical therapy will get her right back to normal. So here are these super cute cards. They were very easy to make, very quick to come together, and I think this is a die set that I'm going to get a lot of use out of since I do live in the West, where cowboy boots are a common sight. So I certainly enjoyed making these, and I appreciate you guys coming along for the ride today. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.